Wow, I am jacked up to be here, guys. This is Scott Matthews. We are launching our first show of the year, Get the Edge. You got to follow us, guys. We're going to be here each and every week talking about sports, talking outside sports, and we're looking to have a great time here. And I'm joined by two of the best sports betting experts out there with over 50 years of sports betting experience. My first co-host is the one and only, the driving force behind the sports profits, Mr. Teddy Brooks. Hey, Teddy, what's going on?
Good to be here, Scotty. I'm excited for our new show, our new venture, Get the Edge. Take a look at that beautiful logo right there.
There you go, man.
Really cool, created by our producer, Ben. But no, it's been a fun summer. Summer's good for us to relax and stuff, But now it's back to business.
This is it, man.
Back
This is
to
what
business.
it's about. And also, the other driving force on our team, and the first time we have him with him, and the pleasure to have him here, the one and only TK in the house, Tommy King Jr. What's going on, TK?
Guys, excited to be here. I can't wait for these weeks to go along. Got a long football season. Looking to have a great season with you all aboard.
Well, you've been in this business a long time, over 30 years, so I know you're jacked up. Football season is your time of the year. Is that the busiest time for you guys?
Football, basketball, those are our top times of the year. That's when we make our most money.
Okay. Well, I have a lot of people that ask me, I'm sure they ask you guys the same thing, that they want to know our styles, like how do we come up with our picks or what we look for, especially in football season. So I wanted to ask you, Teddy, how do you come up with your games, like, let's say, early in the season versus the middle or the later part of the season, or do you use the same formulas throughout the year to come up with your winning selections?
Well, it's a great question. College football, it's been one way for a long time, and now things are starting to change with this transfer portal. So I always look at the history of the programs and what they do, because obviously if you guys are new to college football, in college football, a lot of times the same teams are playing each other year after year after year.
Yep.
So you can use that history. You can look at who's returning, how many players they had drafted, and that's really what you're going to use. Last year, how they finished the year, how certain players on the team closed the year out, what happened during the offseason, were there any changes, are the main, I'll just give an example, this Florida State game that we'll be talking about later. Major changes in Florida State.
Oh, yeah.
Major changes, which we'll save. But so that's what I look for. I look for how the teams do at home against the opposing team, conference matchups. And then there's a new stat.
So is it the same formulas, basically?
Well, there's a new stat now that the transfer portal's here. There's this new stat, and they rank teams based on returning players.
Okay.
It's not really a stat that they used before, but now because of the portal, they're using it. So I'm looking at that also.
Okay.
And that's what I'm using right now.
All right. TK, let me ask you the same question. I'm sure you get a lot of people asking you, what do you look at? Do you look at things early in the season differently than later when weather conditions or injuries come into play? I mean, what's your thoughts on as far as like coming up with your selections early in the year versus later in the year? Is it the same formulas?
It's basically the same formula, but we're just using a strict power rating system in
Okay.
college football, NFL, basketball as well. We follow these rankings. Injuries happen,
Right.
And stuff comes about throughout the year. So
Well,
we're adjusting the lines.
you've seen enough of it in 30 years doing this for a living.
yeah.
I mean, this guy has been around the business a very long time. I've known him personally for quite some time. So, this is the time of year, guys. These guys put a lot of time and energy into this business. I wanted to ask you, TK, what's your thoughts on them going from 4 teams to 12 teams in college in the playoff this year?
I love it. It's going to extend the season a little bit longer. A lot of action going, just new stuff this year.
Give a lot of smaller teams maybe the opportunity to
Give
get
'em a
into the playoffs too.
Yep.
Because a lot of these teams, remember, they would go like undefeated, but being the fact they were smaller teams, they didn't get into the top 4. But now they can get in and they have a shot.
Well, hopefully stuff like happened to FSU last year doesn't happen again this year, where they get
yeah.
knocked out of it.
Yeah, that was a cluster. I'm sure.
Yeah, and who was the undefeated team last year that everyone made the big deal about? Liberty.
Yeah.
I think it was Liberty, right? They were undefeated last year, and
There was a team and they didn't make.
yeah, and it's going to be good, but there's still going to be those arguments. Instead of arguing about that 5th team that didn't make it, people are going to be arguing about that 13th and 14th team that didn't make it. So there'll still be room for the the controversy and the discussions. But for us, it's more betting opportunities, more games that matter.
Yeah, of course.
More
Yeah.
games that matter, because think about it. These bowl games, the players don't get up for these games. Half of them don't play. But now that it's a playoff game, they're going to come to play, and that makes our job easier.
Well, you would think they come to play, but unfortunately, a lot of these guys that are going to the next level, they don't. They pull themselves out of these games, even like the biggest games of all. So, it's going to be interesting, though. And a great thing now is with all these teams that transferred, over this year, we got so many teams going into the Big Ten. You got so many teams going in the Southeast, and it's going to be all different teams facing each other. It's going to make the game a lot more interesting. How do you think that's going to fare, TK, with the point spreads? Like these teams now going into different divisions.
They're definitely going to have to adjust the lines.
There'll be advantages, I would think, for guys like us that really follow the numbers, no?
Yep. What happened to the Pac-12? There's no Pac-12 anymore, is there?
Pac-2.
Pac-2.
Pac-2. What do you think of that? Do you think?
I think it's going to be the odds makers are going to have to get used to it,
Right.
and so are we. And the way I look at it is like it kind of gives us some level playing ground versus the odds makers. So who's going to be the first at the bit, right? Who's going to be the first one to get it right? So it's going to be a battle, but for both sides.
Yeah.
It's going to be a battle for us. It's going to be a battle for the odds makers. I think we're going to we came out on top last year, by the way. Guys, if you're new to this show, me and Scotty, we did some shows last year together,
Right.
and we did pretty damn well with our selections, especially when we agreed on something. So it's just about beating the odds makers to the punch.
So at the end of the day, guys, I mean, let's face it, to be successful at this, obviously we all think the same way. Money management, correct? You
Yeah,
agree?
definitely 100%
Money management, being particular on what you're doing, not chasing after games. These are all the keys to being successful regardless. You agree on that?
Oh, money management's huge. I'll tell you guys a quick story. I have a player just signed up with me last week, been pretty hot lately. He has a 6-1 record with our company, and he blew all of his money on Adesanya in the
I
UFC.
had that happen too. I had a client. I won him all this money, and he took it all and lost it all in the UFC fights the other night. Guy, now he can't.
Can't bet.
Right.
I have a client that same exact situation.
Wow.
He's
Maybe
only
it's
betting.
the same guy. Who knows?
Maybe. But yeah. So guys, like, don't. Here's the thing. Friday night, Saturday night. Now that college football is here,
Too many opportunities.
if you have a good Friday and a good Saturday, you don't have to lay it all on the line Saturday night. Or to extend this, and I'm sure you agree with this, TK, if you have a great week Monday through Saturday, you don't have to slam 100 NFL games and blow it all back. I mean, so
I'm not a fan of playing a lot of games on the weekend anyways. Maybe 2-3 solid selections I'll
Yeah.
put out on the weekend. I mean, I'm not throwing 40, 50 games out at you.
You guys, you got to understand how we think. We're in it. This is a business for us. We've been doing this for decades. Between the three of us on the panel, we're looking at over 80 years of sports betting experience. So there's things that we forgot about that most people don't even know how to get to when it comes to numbers and it comes to injuries and how they make different lines and so forth and so on. So we look to try to get every edge. And as good as we are, we don't win them all, obviously, but we just try to stay consistent. And you have to stay consistent. And like TK and Teddy said, it's just about playing, quality games over quantity at the end of the day, right?
yeah,
To build the bankroll, if you want.
that's important.
Because a lot of these guys are going to come out of the box firing away thinking they're heroes, and they're going to be very quickly zeros, not doing so well.
And looking for value, whether you're using TK, I know he has his own proprietary power ranking system, or if you're just looking at where you think the line should be versus where the line is, you got to find the value, but you also don't want to get sucked in.
Right. I got to ask you a question, T. You've been around the business as long as me. What's your thoughts on all these young guys? It seems like a lot of younger people are coming into the industry.
All these young guys are just...
They want to play parlays and stuff.
Yeah, and these guys that come up too, that's all they want to do is parlays, prop bets. We don't even do any of that. I just play strictly flat plays.
Right. Straight bets only.
And like Teddy was saying, very simple. You're looking for the best value out there. With all these books out there now, some of these guys got 6,
shopping.
7, 8 books. I mean, one guy might have 6, one guy might have 7. You got to shop around for that best line.
Yeah. Very important. Listen, there's so many, like you said, so many different options out there. You might, for an example, you might like a line at -3, and there's lines out there -2, there's lines -4. You want to get the best line in your favor. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, it's like buying stock. You want to get the best price. You don't want to overpay for something if you can get a better value on it.
I have a story about that too, or not a story, but just
He likes those stories, by the way.
Your sports book is not your wife. You do not have to be married to one sports book. So a lot of guys that say, "What sports book are you using?" "Oh, I'm using DraftKings because I win more on DraftKings." Whether you win or lose, for the most part, has to do with your picks, not the sports book you're using. So line shop, like TK said and like Scotty said, make sure you're finding the best lines, especially in football and basketball where there's a point spread. If you lose, if you're betting $100 a game, and over the course of 365 days, you lose a game by let's say you lose 20 games over the year by a half a point, that's $2,000. So it's a $4,000 swing.
Oh, yeah.
If
It
you're
adds
getting
up.
the right
Are
line.
you a fan of buying points?
I am.
I know
I know Scott is definitely
So
a fan of
Scotty
buying
is.
points.
Oh, yeah.
Scotty buys a little bit more than me, but
yeah.
I am a buyer. I'm a point buyer, but not as much as Scotty.
Yeah.
Scotty moves it on every game.
I play it up to an even number.
Yeah,
so
but I buy. I mean, listen, I'm never gonna play +3.5. I'm always gonna buy it to 3, no matter what.
Yeah, of
Maybe
course.
2.5,
Right.
depending on the juice. So
Or
yeah.
even go to 4. I mean,
See, that's
sometimes.
the extra
Yeah.
step that Scotty
Hey,
likes to
you
run
know what?
it too.
I want that extra edge.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm looking for certain numbers. If I think that number's weak or I think it's a trap and I can get a bigger price on it to give me a stronger edge, I'm gonna go for it. Why not?
Yeah.
It's not going to win all the time, but at the end of the day, I'll hit my fair share and it'll be profitable.
Yeah, we're giving, like TK said, 2 games a day, 3 games a day. Like for a handicapper, when you look up the word handicapper, that's someone that's putting a little bit of action on every single game.
Right.
When you're doing that, you can't be buying points on every single game. But when you're isolating something and you see a weakness, you can buy that point and a half a point.
I want to ask you guys one other question, then I want to move on to some of these NFL preseason games going this week because I know you guys got a couple of plays to help the audience out. My question was, what do you advise people to do early in the season? Like if they're playing with a bankroll, let's say a guy says, well, I have $1,000 bankroll to play with. What are you recommending, like a guy to play if he has, let's say, just theoretically has $1,000 bankroll? What are you recommending a guy to play per game if he has like a bankroll starting out of $1,000 early in the season?
I'll give that one to TK first.
Yeah, that
and I'll
one's
go
easy
second.
for me. I mean,
Okay.
I tell all my guys play 10% of your bankroll. So you got
So,
a $1,000 bankroll.
$100.
You're going $100. See, I rate my games 3 to 5 units. So
Okay.
basically, I take that $100 max bet, divide it by 5. They're betting $20 per unit.
Okay. So do you tell them
I
that?
tell them, I tell each guy, you got to manage your money. But you also get these guys that come on, you tell them to bet, manage your money like that.
Right.
They win 2-3 games and they load it up. You know
Right.
how it goes.
Of course.
But you got to follow the
And
money
they don't
magic.
listen. They don't
No,
listen to
listen.
the experts.
No,
you
they
know,
don't
you,
listen.
you take them all the way out there, and then they go on their own out of nowhere.
Got to follow the system.
But
That's
if
the only
you-
way you're going to win.
So let me ask you this. Okay, at the beginning you say $1,000 bankroll, play $100 max on a game. When do you tell them to jump it up? When it goes to 2,000,
When
you
they get
start
up,
telling.
build up your bankroll. When you double your bankroll,
keep
then you're going
moving
to
it.
200. You're just going to consistently move
Okay.
and go from there.
Guys, you got to listen up, man. We're here to try to help you out. We're going to be here all year long, trying to give you some winning advice and try to manage you in the best way. If you really want to be successful at this, look at these two guys right here. They're doing this 50 years. I'm doing it over 30. So I think we know what we're talking about when it comes to sports betting. All right, we touched on that. You want to jump into some early NFL preseason, guys? Because I know you're itching at the bit to get some winners out there to the crowd. Let me see. We got a. You guys were talking about a game on Friday night. You both liked a couple of games out there on the schedule. You wanna start off, TK?
I like the Miami-Tampa Bay game. I mean, I'm in love with this game. It opened up at a pick'em. Tampa Bay's laying 3 points right now. I'm going to go with this trend on this. I mean, preseason, it's all about trends. Miami's played 2 straight games at home. Now they're going on the road. They're favored. They're not favored in this game. They're a dog.
Yep.
If you go with the trend on this one, they're 7-0 their last 7. I'm jumping all over the Dolphins. I'm taking the points here. They're +3 right now. I'm on them this weekend.
Now here's my $1 million question. I'll let you cut right in there. Would you leave it at 3 or would you go above it? There's a perfect scenario.
See, some of the books don't let you buy in preseason, but
Okay.
if I had to, I'd buy it up to 3.5. I don't think they're going to need it. Miami's going to come out and win the game outright anyways.
And how would you rate that game on your scale? Is
I
that
put it up at least a 4-star unit.
4-star unit? All right, guys.
Preseason football.
Listen to the man. He's giving you a 4-star rated game absolutely free right here on the show. All right, Teddy, what's your thoughts on Friday?
Well, just to talk about that game, what do you think caused that line movement? That's a pretty big shift. Was it like a certain player saying they're playing, not playing?
I saw a couple of things on the local news down here in Florida. A couple of stuff with some players not playing for the Dolphins.
Yeah.
That could be a key release.
I heard Tyreek might not be playing, right?
Yeah, it's preseason.
Yeah.
It's preseason.
Yeah.
Well, they're all going to be in and out of line. This is the last time they go from, 90 players down to 53?
Right.
They're going to cut half the roster. So this is, there's going to be a lot of backups in the last game of the
a lot
preseason.
Of backups.
But the starters got to get some play. I mean, they got 2 weeks before that to the regular season.
Yeah.
Tua looked fantastic.
Yeah, he looked good the other day.
Looked fantastic last week. Only one drive. But so I'm going with this 49ers-Raiders game on Friday. This is a game where, Brock Purdy, he did a press conference and he said, I want to play. I want to get the feel of the game because he's a young guy. If he was a 10-year vet, maybe not so, but he's young. He wants to get into the action. And when he announced he was playing and he wanted to play pretty deep, the line moved from 4.5 to around 6.5. Looking at the 49ers, they're 1-1 on the preseason. Raiders are 0-2. And I think Purdy didn't have the best game. I think he's going to step it up. What I'm doing on this game right here is I'm playing now. I don't know. I haven't been able to find the line yet. If you can find the line for me, because you're always my line finder in this.
What's up?
The first half of this game.
Right now.
So 49ers are favored by about 6 for the game.
Yeah, I would say it's a 3-3.
But if I could find 3, I would absolutely pummel 3.5, because you can't really buy
You're probably
first.
going to have to leave 3.5.
Yeah, you can't really buy first half.
They're going to make it tricky on you.
Yeah.
You know that.
So 3.5, I would still make the bet, but if I could get 3, I would pummel it. And, like I said, Purdy needs to get that feel. And then on the other side of the ball, the Raiders,
The Raiders are not the Raiders.
Exactly.
That's for sure.
And, they did announce 3 days ago that Gardner Minshew is going to be the starter, but
Yeah, good luck with that.
they're too mediocre at best quarterbacks.
Well, they also said the Raiders going to be looking at a lot of running backs, so there's probably going to be a lot of running in this game here.
Let me ask you guys a question. What about this Jacksonville team? They look pretty interesting this year, and they gave the big bag of money to Lawrence, so obviously he's jacked up, and they got some pretty good weapons on this team. That they can't go by preseason. Obviously, they started a couple of nice wins, winning pretty handily in both their preseason games. Now they're playing the Falcons. They're making them 7 points on the road. I don't see how the Falcons can even stay with them, to be honest, in a game. I think Jacksonville's just going to come out and just play sharp football and go into the regular season and just kind of go off momentum.
Well, we got to see what Kirk Cousins does. He's probably not going to be really playing.
Is he going to really play?
That's the thing,
He's
If
coming off a major injury.
If he played like an entire first half, I would say, maybe the Falcons have a chance to keep it close.
Well, I'm not even talking about first half, to be honest with you.
Right, no, I'm
Jacksonville's
saying.
been good first and second half.
Right, I'm
plays.
saying if he played entire first half and was able to get some touchdowns and give him some kind of cushion for the second half,
Oh,
maybe.
sure.
But if he's not playing, I agree with you.
Yeah,
It should be a good game. That's another trend, just like the Dolphin game. Jacksonville play both games at home. They're going on the road favored.
Yeah.
They're pretty solid.
I think they got a pretty damn good team, this Jacksonville. I think they could be a surprise team and win double digits this year. Not that that's a big surprise, but I think the way they're coming into the season, and they got some good players, and now Lawrence getting all that confidence, having a good year or two under his belt. I think they're going to be a tough team.
Well, they had a good year last year.
Yeah.
They just didn't close well.
Right.
They just kind of
Right.
crapped the. I don't want to say the S word. I don't know how YouTube likes that, but they crapped the bed at the end, right?
So Scott, that would be one of your Super Bowl picks?
No. No. But I do like them. I don't know that. I think their total wins was around 9 or 9.5. Was it? I don't know if anyone has. But I think they're gonna succeed the total wins this year. If you guys are looking at I don't really I'm not a futures guy. I don't like to give out long range forecast. I like to keep it more week to week. But if on a betting man standpoint, I think Jacksonville's a good play on over the team total this year. If you want to put something in and have a little fun with it.
Well, interesting thing about what did they have last year? They were 9 and 9 and 8.
I just see them coming together. I just think that listen.
It's only 8.5. I just looked it up.
Is it only 8.5? Yeah, I think they have the possibility of winning easily.
So Scotty's jumping all over that.
Easily 9 or 10 games this year. Let's move to Saturday. You got a full board of games here. I think you guys had something you liked on Saturday. These games are tough, man. I'll tell you. The last week of preseason, you got to be You got to be on
They're
your A.
tough. They're tough. And
Who you looking at,
I
Teddy?
don't bet big on these. I'm looking at the Steelers-Lions game. You had Russell Wilson did not look good for the
Right.
Steelers.
Right.
Justin Fields did not look good. And they both saw a good amount of time in their last game, and neither of them looked good. The offense can't be trusted. This Steelers offense, I don't see much improvement.
They're a
on
big
the other
favorite.
On the other side of the ball, the Lions, we don't really know who they're starting, if anyone.
Right.
And the Steelers' defense is pretty strong. So I'm going with the under. It's at 36 and a half. That's one that I would buy up to 37, and I would go under that
It's
game.
actually dropping.
At 35 and a half.
35 and a half now. Yeah,
it's way down.
then the odds makers agree with me then. So yeah, I would move that up a little bit, and I would go under on that one.
Detroit they must not be playing anybody.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think Detroit's playing Goff
They already know what they
St.
got.
Brown or any of their guys. So
Yeah.
I think the under is the play in that game.
There's a team that can win a lot of games this year.
Is that your top play for Saturday?
That's my top play. That's my only play.
TK?
I'm staying away from the preseason. I'm waiting for that college football on Saturday.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you 1,000%. I didn't really see any value on Saturday, to be honest. Again, last week of the preseason guys, they're taking 90 guys. They're going down to 53. A lot of players are going to be looking for a home after this week when they make cuts. So I'm going to wait for the real action to come in and take advantage of when the real numbers are out on these games. That's what I'd rather do than jump on a preseason game. But I do think Jacksonville has the potential of blowing out Atlanta. So if you want to sprinkle, here's a perfect example for me. I won't leave a game on a 7. I'd bring that line down 1 point, and I would take Jacksonville -6 against Atlanta. And I would make that, just like a solid play, nothing major. And that's it on that. We got a lot of stuff going on here, guys. We got baseball down to 35 games. We got NFL. We got college football. Now, there's college football regular season this weekend. It's a short board of games. I don't know if you guys are looking at anything. TK, anything pop on your mind for college football this weekend?
I already bet this game back in mid-June.
Oh, boy. All right.
Florida State, Georgia Tech. We used our power ratings. We had this line set at a certain price.
Okay.
I actually got this line plus 14 early in mid-June. It's down to, 10 and a half right now.
I think it's a 10.5, 11.
I got
So you're
Georgia.
liking the dog.
I like the dog. If you got to look at FSU, they're 1-7 their last 8 in August. They're not a good team to start off an early football season. They're traveling a long distance over in Dublin.
Dublin, Ireland,
Yeah,
huh?
they'll be drinking some Guinness that day watching this game.
Yeah, you would think that Notre Dame would be over in Dublin,
Right.
right? Not
They used to play over there, the
Yeah.
opening games, didn't they? They just
Florida State right now. I'm showing 10.5 with a
Yeah.
55.5 total. Any opinion on that game? For the,
I'm on the same pick as TK. I didn't get lucky enough, or I wasn't wise enough to bet it in June and get 14. But I like it at 12. I think you buy a 1.5. So that game,
you're jumping on my philosophy already. First
yeah,
week of the
I'm
year,
moving
huh?
them, baby. I'm moving
buy
them.
those points.
You got Jordan Travis no longer there.
Right.
The running back Benson, Keon Coleman. I think all 3 of their star receivers are in the NFL now. They have, out of 22 players, starters last year,
Yeah.
they only have 10 returning.
Yeah.
And
How many on offense?
5 and 5. 5 on
and five.
offense, 5 on defense. An interesting thing about this Florida State team is going to see how DJ Ugalele plays, the new quarterback for them, who he played at I think Oregon State last year, and
Yep.
then he was at Clemson before that. So
Yeah.
he's like a
transferring.
journeyman.
He's transferring.
It's
all
funny
over.
because this is all new for college football. Like 5-10 years ago, this stuff, there is no such thing as a quarterback for the most part that's been on 3 teams, 4 teams. So it's,
Speaking of quarterbacks, I got to ask you guys this question. I think what's your thoughts, TK, of Dak Prescott? You think they're signing this guy, or is he going to be a free agent and get a boatload of money somewhere else?
I think he's going to sign with them.
You really do?
I think Jerry's on. He's going to step up, spend the money.
Well, he's taking a slow approach.
They're doing with the receiver too, aren't they? With
Yes,
CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah,
They're
he's
doing the
sitting
same
on.
thing.
I don't know. What's going on with Jerry?
He probably had to cash in some Bitcoin or something. He's got to
Yeah.
pay these guys.
I don't know. I'm thinking I'm thinking if Dak's smart, he could get huge money.
Who would
just
he go to, though?
Not signing. Well, who would he go to? A lot of people would want him. He's a proven talent. He's not a proven winner per se. You know what I'm saying? He's never really done anything in the playoffs. He's never brought a championship to the table. He's a regular season good quarterback. He always reminds me of like Tony Romo. Tony Romo was a great regular.
It's funny. Who did Tony Romo play for and never won?
Yeah.
They
It's
have
just
like
the
very
same-
similar.
Same kind of stuff.
Tony Romo was one of the greats that never won a Super Bowl. He was a very good quarterback.
He was consistent. He was a
Great golfer, too.
Yeah, great golfer.
Great golfer, and he's a dynamite announcer.
Great announcer. One of the best ever.
How's Brady going to do this year announcing?
Brady's going to announce New England Week 5. New England's playing Miami. Miami goes to New England. He's doing that game.
Nice.
So see what
What
happens.
about, speaking of quarterbacks, what about your boy Russell Wilson? Is he going to make the starting lineup?
He looks bad.
I'll tell you what, just by reads that I'm hearing from people and Tomlin talking, I think that Fields is a much more talented quarterback. I think he's, for some reason, I don't know if it's neck and neck, I think he's going to give Fields the edge.
Yeah, I mean,
Because of the run.
neither of them look good.
Well, Fields is so
Fields has more upside.
He's so talented.
Fields has more
and he's younger.
development potential. He has more potential to develop. Russell, we've seen the best from Russell Wilson.
Right.
We haven't seen the best from
I
Justin
think
Fields.
Russell's going like this.
And
but
Fields
I don't
is-
know if Fields is going like that by any stretch.
So
he might be like this.
Exactly, with a little
Level, right.
a little up tilt,
Right.
but not as Russell's
But Russ is going down.
I wouldn't bet a nickel, and when I say nickel, I don't mean $500. I mean 5 cents on anything about Russell Wilson.
I don't know about Pittsburgh this year, man.
No.
I don't see it. I don't see it.
Their offense is not good.
All right, I'm going to ask you guys, and then we're going to move on, wrap it up with some baseball. But quick question: AFC East opinion? Who's winning the AFC East this year? Who do you think's going to win the division?
And I'm not a big Miami Dolphin fan, so I'm going to have to go with the Miami Dolphins.
Wow!
I think
to hear that out of your mouth.
Yeah, I'm not a Dolphins fan.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, this guy he roots against the Dolphins. For him to say the Dolphins, that's pretty impressive. You think the Dolphins are going to win a lot of games this year?
They're gonna win
Double
a lot of
digits?
games. Yeah, double digits this year. I think the over under them, what's 9.5? They should go over at this year easily.
Who do they beat out? Jets, Buffalo, which one?
The Jets are going to be a great team as well this year too. But they should take out Buffalo and the Jets, knock them both out of business.
Okay. So the Dolphins win the AFC. What's your opinion? AFC East. We won't go through everyone.
My opinion, based on what I'm seeing, is the Dolphins. I'm a slight Dolphin fan.
Okay.
I'm happy to see them
A
win.
lot more so than him, though.
I'm a Dolphin. I mean, by default, I'm a Dolphin fan. I was born and raised here. I used to have season tickets, but I'm actually rooting for Aaron Rodgers to get one more shot at it because I just love Aaron Rodgers. A lot of people don't like him. I typically tend to like the people that most people don't like. And
Right.
Aaron Rodgers.
You like controversy.
I like controversy,
Yeah.
exactly.
We know that about
You know
Teddy.
me, Scotty.
Teddy's controversy.
So I'm a big Aaron Rodgers fan. So I want to see him just shut a lot of people up because I don't like the media, the typical sports media, and they just hate on him so much. So I'm rooting for Aaron, but my heart says Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. My brain says the Dolphins.
I think you're both right. I think it's going to be either the Dolphins or the Jets coming out of the AFC East. Just a question, who gets that little upper hand. But
Who doesn't get hurt?
exactly.
Gotta be healthy.
Is Rodgers going to make it through the season? He's coming off, that Achilles. It's a tough injury. Hopefully he doesn't get hurt. And
you saw the fall of the Bills. Not that the Bills are falling down so hard, but you called it mid-season last year. You said the Bills don't look
they
right.
weren't right.
And yeah, I don't think it's gotten much better. They got rid of Diggs.
Well, how high can you keep staying and not getting to the next level? Sooner or later you're going to have a meltdown. You know what I mean? Buffalo's like going, and then boom.
Or even if not a meltdown, you got to take a few steps back before you can take steps forward again.
And then you got to go against Mahomes, who unfortunately crashes your party every single time. But all right, one last thing. I just trying to give you the audience a little long. Who do you think at this point in time, if you had to make a Super Bowl pick?
Ooh.
I don't know if you even looked at doing anything like that. Are you a long range? You're not really a long range guy.
If I had to go for a Super Bowl winner, I'm going with San Fran.
San Fran to win it?
San Fran to come back this year, rebound, take them to or Detroit. Detroit's a solid team as well this year.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with either one of them. I think Detroit's going to be huge. I mean, this coach is great. What a motivator he is, and they got weapons. Any Super Bowl pick or no? You're not really.
I would go with San Fran or Philly.
San Fran or Philly. Okay. All right.
I think both of those teams have been close. They've been tasting it. They've been right there, and I think one of them breaks through this year.
Okay. I've got a a lot of different things in my mind, but I think that I'll tell you what, I think that the Dolphins might have a year this year. I really do. I think they could be a sleeper. I don't know if they're going to get to the Super Bowl, but they could be a very good sleeper. They could get all the way pretty far this year if they stay healthy. That's the key. So I'm gonna just throw a sleeper out there. If you guys want to put a little sprinkle, what's the odds? You know what the odds would be on the Dolphins to win the Super Bowl right now?
I'll tell you right now.
It's got to be double digits.
I'll tell you what, the Dolphins go to the Super Bowl, I'll take you to the Super
There
Bowl.
you go. I love it. You hear that, Ben?
That's
He's taking me to the
action
Super
there.
Bowl.
Dolphins make it a Super Bowl, I'm taking them to the Super Bowl.
Nice.
Hey, what about the producer?
We'll have to take we'll have to take Club Vixens with us to the Super Bowl too.
It's in New Orleans this year, right?
New Orleans. Is it New Orleans?
I think it's New Orleans.
My Hard Rock app is completely glitching.
Yeah, it's
out
all right.
right now.
It's going to be
I'll tell
double.
you right
It's
now.
going to be double digits, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well,
Let's run it down real quick. Here we go. You ready?
23-1.
23-1.
Plus 2,300. Now, who? We're glitching.
What's Dallas right now?
So you got here we go.
I'm not a long range
Dallas
guy.
is plus 1,750.
Yeah.
So Hard Rock has the Dolphins at plus 2,000.
Right.
They have the Chiefs as the favorite, plus 575. 49ers at plus 650. The Eagles selection would be plus 1,300, so that's, I guess, better value.
The Ravens could be there again this year, too.
You know who people
Yeah.
are forgetting about? You
The
know
Ravens.
whose name has completely disappeared?
Who?
And I think he
Don't
has a
say
lot
Joe
to prove.
Joe
You
Burrow.
know me. You know
Yeah.
me well.
There you go.
You know me well. Yeah,
How
I
about
mean,
that hairdo? What's going on there with that hair? I love
Man.
it. Eminem.
yeah, he shaved his head and dyed it blonde.
All right. Joe Burrow, let me tell you, I love that guy. I think he's a dynamite quarterback. When he's healthy,
And he already bounced back
he's
from
got some
injury,
great
too.
weapons.
He already proved he can bounce back from
Yeah,
injury because he
you
did it
know,
before.
The AFC Central, man, that what I guess it's called, what is it called? The North? AFC North?
Yeah.
I mean, you got some tough teams in there. Cincinnati,
Baltimore, even Cleveland. I mean,
Cleveland. Yeah, you don't know what's going to go on with Cleveland
Yeah.
even. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting year. But, all right, guys, listen, before we wrap it up, I know baseball's, obviously down to the last 30, 35 games. I don't know if you guys want to talk about anything in baseball related. Any games you're looking at in baseball? Any surprise teams you're seeing at this point? Or what's your thoughts on baseball? Anything, TK?
I've been looking at the Dodgers all year long. They were my pick to win the World Series this year.
Okay.
They're starting to heat back up again. The Milwaukee Brewers
They
as
got
well.
Betts back finally.
Yeah, they've been going. Boston's been playing good out in the late too. So
Yeah, it's an open season right now in baseball. It's funny because some of the teams that were playing so hot early, like the Yankees, man, they cooled off like crazy. And Cleveland's, they've been playing a little struggling of late, and same with Baltimore, up and down. But they're still got great winning records. But it just proves that anyone could beat anyone on any given time.
Baseball's crazy. Baseball's crazy. A good team to bet for me, a team that I've been making some good money with, are the Royals. I don't think they're going to win the World Series or anything like that, but I've been making some good money with them.
What about Padres? They've been playing really good second half baseball.
Padres are playing great baseball right
With
now.
that lineup, I can't believe that they can't, win a lot more games.
yeah, they came back last night to win.
Yeah, they've been playing.
They're a streaky team. They have their win streaks and then they kind of fall, but yeah, I think the money just based on value. You got to find value this time of year, right?
Yeah,
you got to
sure.
look for
It's a lot of overpriced games.
Just to give the audience one little tip that I like a lot in baseball is you set your line for the game where you think it should be, and if it's over that, you gotta use some. I mean, this is a long season, a lot of games. You got to do some reverse psychology. If you see the Dodgers is a great example. If you see the Dodgers and you think that they should be minus 130 or 140 against a team like last night. That was my free pick, the Dodgers. They were minus 50 in that game.
Seattle, yeah.
And Seattle's a very good team, and there was two very good pitchers on the mound. If that game was Dodgers minus 120, I might have stayed away from it. But because the Dodgers had the higher line, I went with it.
Well, it was like the night before that. The Dodgers, the line creeped up. It went from 125, 135, 145, 155, 160. And they shut out Seattle,
Yeah.
I think 3-0. But I think it was because Freddie Freeman came back into the lineup and stuff like that. But the Dodgers are a good team from top to bottom, especially when they get their key players back. Now they got Betts. So they're going to be tough as always. Baseball's interesting, guys. But, it's all about football season this time of the year. We've been waiting for this for the longest time. And we're going to be here each and every week. That's the beauty of it, trying to give you guys the best betting advice. We got some of the top experts. We're going to have guests on the show. We're going to be doing this thing as best as we can to give you guys as much of an advantage as we humanly can week to week. TK, can you tell the people where they could find you out there in the social media world and see your free stuff and whatever you're offering to them?
Social media, they can see me every day. I put a free play out. You can see my latest specials. We put out a lot of offers. You can just go at TKWins.com on Instagram. You can go right to my website, TKWins.com as well. You know, we got stuff up every day for you guys to check out.
Like I said, guys, he's been around the business for over 30 years, doing it the right way. He's got a great reputation. He puts out quality over quantity. So if you're looking for that type of situation, check him out. And here he is, the driving force behind that Sports Profits, which is one of the best recognized sports companies out there. Teddy, where can they find you?
Well, we're so recognized that we have 4 Instagram accounts right now.
Trying to copycat you?
That are trying to copycat us.
Oh, boy.
So
that's not good.
I got those posted. So you can follow me right there at _profits_pick for Instagram. If there's an S on pick, it's not us. If there's another underscore after pick, it's not us. If there's an X after pick, it's not us. So those are all the accounts that mimicked us. But anyway, you can find us there.
Well, that's a good thing because that means
imitation is the best form of flattery. Yeah,
that's right.
So there you go.
So obviously you're doing something right that they want to be like you.
Yeah.
You know that commercial like Mike Jordan, I want to be like Mike.
I want to be like Mike. They want to be like Teddy.
All right.
Or you could do youtube.com/@thesportsprofits, all one word, full name, and profits is spelled not with an F. It's spelled PROPHETS.
All right, guys, you heard it there. And again, I'm the host of this great show, the one and only show, Get the Edge. Remember to find us on all podcast forums. The beauty is we're out there. Spotify, Apple, on YouTube is Get the Edge. Check it all out, guys. We are here each and every week. We're going to be back next week. College football kicks into full gear. All the big conferences started up, and we'll be looking forward to seeing you back here. And we'll next Wednesday.
Hey, Scott, where can we find you?
Where can we find me? Of course. Well, of course you got to find me. I am on. That's good, Ben. I forgot to even mention me. I was so excited to mention those guys. There you go. You can find me on TikTok, guys, at SMPicks, PICKS. That's on TikTok. And on Instagram. I give away free stuff all the time. Check out everything we do at SM Sports Picks, PICKS. Check it out. We'll be back here next week. Have a great day, everybody.